Hey there, in this episode we are going to discuss exactly how we select a pleating style for a kilt. Very broadly, a kilt can be pleated to the stripe or to the set, and that's what we often see on other kilt makers' websites. They'll have a drop-down menu, stripe or set, end of discussion. That's fine, but it's not enough. And if you look down here, here's an example of a kilt pleated to the stripe. This is an officer's kilt of the 48th Highlanders from the 1950s I'm rebuilding. So what we've done is, you see, they've taken one element of the tartan and it repeats across the pattern. This is pleated to the stripe. We see this in military kilts and band kilts. Some people will try to tell you that this, if a kilt is pleated this way, it's an army kilt or a band kilt, end of discussion. No, it really comes down to your personal preference and your sense of style. So the other option, so that's stripe. The other option is pleating to the set, which is what we see here. In this tartan, and I have no idea what tartan this is, one of the proprietary ones I think, that the pleats have been arranged so that the pattern of the tartan appears across the pleats. And it's quite ingenious. It's this style is only a little over 100 years old. Somebody thought it up as recently as that. So there's the two. But here's another example of pleating to the set. Now this is a very busy tartan, but what you'll notice here is the scale of the tartan. You'll look at the scale here and the scale here. This is slightly shrunk down a bit. That's not uncommon because of the way that you're confined in laying out the pleats. So there's two options, but again, when people will say, oh, pleat it to the stripe or to the set, they're not giving you enough options, or you're not giving enough opportunity to exert your own personal style. Because at one level, this is an exponent of culture, but at least as large a level, and probably should be more, this is an exponent of your personal style. So this person has elected to pleat to the black stripe, and again, the other shops will say stripe or set. Well, okay, but which stripe? So when you deal with me, if you live in town, or if you're able to come to town, when your cloth arrives, I'll unroll it on the table, and you and I will play with the cloth. And we'll see. In this case, this is a Buchanan. Do you want it to the black stripe on the yellow? Or do you want it to the black stripe on the green? Which I'm not doing very well here, am I? This sort of thing. Every possible combination we can think of. Even some rather other unconventional ones of, let's say, dividing it like that. Any way that you and I can dream up, we take a look at it, we ponder it. I'll hear your opinion before I pronounce mine. I'm not going to try to talk you out of something unless I think it's a really, really bad idea. This particular kilt, which I'm going to pack up and send off to its new owner in Delaware this afternoon, he's elected to pleat to the black line. Now, of course, he didn't come to the shop. He's on the other side of the country. So I took pictures of all the ways that I could think of, sent them to him, listened to his preferences, discussed them a little bit, because there's advantages and disadvantages, or shall we say characteristics. We want to concentrate on a vertical element as well as a horizontal element. This one has a very strong horizontal element, but when he walks, this yellow, which is concealed, this yellow is going to flash open, so that when he walks, you're going to get this burst of color, this burst of brightness as he walks, rather like the little birds you see in the neighborhood here called bush tits. They have white feathers hidden in their black tails, so when they move, they have this really striking burst effect. And this is going to be really, really attractive when he's walking around on it. So with it, I should say. So there we are. We choose between pleating it to the set and pleating it to the stripe, but when we pleat to the stripe, we find every possible option there is, not just being held hostage by the kilt maker who says that's the stripe, end of discussion. So we work together and we produce something which is an exponent of your style. Thank you.